Hey, you want to make a cinematic travel video? Let's say you go out with your friends on a solo trip or with your family. I'm going to show you how to make a beautiful cinematic video with minimal gear, without too many complicated preparation, and most importantly, without ruining your trip. So I decided to break down this video into 3 categories: preparation, gear, and shooting. So first is preparation, and what I mean by that is what kind of video do you want to create? What story do you want to create? And what emotion do you want to bring to your video? This is the most important thing, I think, because it will help you so much in the shooting, because you will know what you're gonna shoot. Like for example, me when I was in Costa Rica for my last trip, my last cinematic video, well, I was with my girlfriend and my baby, and I wanted to create a video that I will be proud of and I will love to watch later. But also I wanted to stay present in the moment and not like always be thinking about being in the creative mode, you know? And I wanted to enjoy my trip. Like you guys, I'm pretty sure you want to enjoy your trip also and not be always creating and creating. Another part of preparation, I think, is doing a bit of research. You type on YouTube cinematic travel video and the name of the country you're going, and that way it can give you a little bit of an idea of like where to go, which place to visit, and how to film. And also to go back with what I said about being present and in the moment. This is something I struggled for a long time because I was always like, my mindset was always like creating and creating, and I was not enjoying myself so much in the trip. And I figured out a way to do that is figure out like 2 or 3 spots that you would love to have in your video. Let's say for Costa Rica, I knew I wanted to have a waterfall in my video. So I searched a waterfall that would be nice to visit in Costa Rica. And also I wanted to see wildlife. So I was researching also like, where's the wildlife? And I got lucky because I met a guy that was actually a photographer in Costa Rica, and he showed me some spots around Costa Rica, like where to go and see wildlife, especially like spots where, you know, tourists don't even go, like it's more the local people that knows these spots. So I was really grateful about meeting this person. And yeah, so maybe like, you know, don't overplan. That's what I'm trying to say. Like don't overplan your trip. Just pick up like 2 or 3 big spots that you want to film, you want to shoot, and then after that everything is like more on the go, you know, situation on the go, and you don't even think about it, you know. And of course you need to prepare your gear the night before, or maybe some days before you go on vacation, because you don't want to arrive your first day on vacation and let's say your batteries are dead already and your drone is not charged, or you know, you don't have an ND filter on your lens or things like that. Okay, so for lenses, I like to bring a 60mm prime, a 24-70 f2.8, and a 70-200 f4. But it will change depending on where I'm going. If I'm going more of a city trip, I will probably bring you know, a prime lens like the 35mm f1.4. This will change. It depends on where you're going, but for all-arounder, a 16, a 24-70, and 70-200 can do pretty much anything. Okay, let's talk about drone a little bit. I like to bring a drone. My drone right now is the Mavic 3. But it's complicated now with a drone because most countries, like, they restrict the drones a lot. So make your research, guys. Make your research about the country you're going. Go on Google, type, can I bring a drone in Costa Rica? Can I bring a drone in blah, blah, blah? In Costa Rica, I was lucky because I could bring a drone. So I flew my drone quite a bit and it was nice. All right, so next is the filming. So you have your camera, you have your gear, you have your story. Everything is there, but how do you actually start filming? First rule, just bring your camera everywhere you go. You always need your camera to film. And after that, you know, I used to film like 360 of every mountaintop and, you know, random shots. But most of the time, these footage never made it to the final edit because there's no story around it. So I decided to film in sequences instead, and film, you know, wide, then close-up and extreme close-up, people reaction, you know, people walking, you know, create a story with sequences, and it's much nicer that way. It's also nice to also vary your angles, you know. You want to shot high, you want to shot low, you want to shot wide, you want to shot extreme close-up. You know, vary your angles. This is really important. It's also important to change your focal length. Sometimes 24 millimeters, sometimes 50, sometimes 100. You know, just change things up a bit. So you can choose to shoot everything at 4K 60, and honestly this is what I do also, because I don't know what I will be slowing down in post, but what is a good rule of thumb is using 4K 24p for, you know, everything that you don't want to slow in post, and for the rest just use 4K 60. That way in your editing timeline you can choose what to slow down and what to keep normal 24p, because when you choose 24p, 4K 24p, it keeps the natural blur of the footage, and this looks a little bit more professional and cinematic. You also want to stable your shots when you film, so either it's with a gimbal, but I don't use a gimbal when I travel because it's too big. I use my camera because it has IBIS, and my lens also, depending on the lens, it also have image stabilization. But if you have a camera with IBIS, then that's really good, thumbs up. And what I also use is the camera strap. I use the Peak Design camera strap, and I just wrapped it around my body. And you know, I use also to wrap it around my wrist, and that way I can make, you know, stable footage that way. If I just move forward or on the side like that, you know, it makes really, really stable shots. You might want to try that also, because it's really, really nice to have. Just bring your camera strap with you on your trip. It doesn't weigh much, and it's really, really simple to use. It's always on your neck anyway, so might as well use it. If your lens has a 2.8 or f1.4 aperture, just use that. You don't have to use it, but just gives you a more beautiful cinematic image, and it's nice to look at. And that brings me to one of the points that I was talking earlier, how to not ruin your trip. Well, constantly changing lenses sometimes will ruin your trip. That's why a lens like the 24 to 70 f2.8 is so nice, because you don't have to change your lens all the time. You have 24 for wides, 70 for close-ups, and you know, f2.8 for shallow depth of field, so it feels cinematic. And I remember like changing lenses all the time, and I used to tell my girlfriend, hey, wait, I'll shoot you that way, and I need you to do that, so let me change my lens. And I know that she's patient with me, thank you, but sometimes it can feel like you're slowing down your trip because you have to stop at every moment. But also sometimes it makes nice moments, so you know, you have to calibrate your trip that way. Don't always slow down your trip, but sometimes it's nice to have the best shot you want, so you take your time and tell your girlfriend, I'm sorry, or tell your friends, sorry, let's do it again. I want to have the perfect shot, you know, and they'll understand. I know that editing is a whole separate video, but I want to talk about two things. And first is music. Music basically sets the vibe of your whole film. So you remember earlier when I talked about having an idea or a feeling in mind while you prepare for your trip? Well, this is where everything comes to life with the music. If your trip is full of adventures, fast pace, and lots of activities, well, you want a fast-paced music to match with that. If it's a family vacation, you know, calm mornings and, you know, beautiful landscape, well, you want a softer song. And also, don't just slap your music on top of that video and just call it a day, you know. You want to work that music. And what I mean by that is like, you want to build the vibe of the music. Like, if you have a music that sometimes, you know, there's a crescendo in your music, even if it's a softer music, sometimes it will have a crescendo, and there will be a part of the music where it's more intense. And then you want to place your more intense shots in that part of the music.
To look, to listen, pure and full of light.
I see a lot of people always like cutting music to the beat, and it's nice, you can do that, it's nice, but when you do it repetitively, it gets boring, and people, notice about it, and you kind of know when the beat and when the match is gonna cut. Like, I don't know if you notice, if you watch like most of my beginner videos were all about that. I used to make like, cuts and cuts and cuts, and every time there's a beat in the song, I cut to different shots, and it gets boring. I personally use Track Club for all my music, and I have a partnership with them. So if you want to, subscribe to their music catalog, just go in the link in the description, and you will have 2 months free with my link. So yeah, you can try it out. They have beautiful music, softer music, and more adventurous music. And I use it all the time for my videos. Even this video right now, the music that I'm using is from Track Club. And yeah, another thing that I want to talk about is color grading. And yeah, it can feel a little bit intimidating at first, color grading, but it can be so simple. I worked on some LUTs that I made for Canon, or it can work also for any camera brand if you use Sony or Fuji, whatever, Lumix. I made some available on my website, so if you want to try them out, it's in the link also in the description below, and they're really cheap, and I made it accessible for everyone. So yeah, they're in the description, try them out, and if you use them, tag me on your videos, I don't know. All right guys, that's it for the video. I hope you liked it. I hope you had some value out of this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.